All right, let me set the stage. So this is me. I'm a 30s father of 3, husband, entrepreneur, and gladly raising my family here on the beautiful island of Maui in the state of Hawaii. Hashtag Maui Wowie. So for the past decade, I've been growing just about every single plant you could think of, well, except for one, in every type of hydroponic, aeroponic, or fog-ponic garden. That's right, people. We're growing plants in fog now. And the one plant I never took a stab at is actually probably my favorite plant of them all. Of course, we're talking about cannabis.
So just like with every other video on this channel, the intention is for educational purposes. We do not condone any illegal activities, so make sure you know about your county, your state laws before you grow. Like I said, I live in Hawaii, where with my medical marijuana card, I can grow up to 10 plants. I think I'm gonna stick with just this one. That even becomes maybe more than I can handle. All right, I'm gonna place these into my sprouter, and I'm gonna put them under a blue and UVA light bath. The blue light keeps things bushy and compact, while the UVA light actually makes it more resilient by assisting in the production of trichomes. It also helps with the terpene production, which is what's gonna make this thing smell up my whole house. I love personally, but my mother-in-law's coming in a week, and hey bro.
Yo.
Hey man, I got a question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
This is my boy Eric. He's been my best friend for over 20 years. During a lot of that time, he was growing in his basement in Colorado. Over the years, he's perfected growing cannabis, and the best buds that I have ever seen have come out of grows from his house. The only thing is, he doesn't grow in hydroponics. So he's gonna be my go-to guy for everything I need to know about how to grow the plant. Today, what I needed to ask him about was topping off my plant. So topping off is something I've done 1,000 times before. I do it with my herbs all the time. Here's me topping off a mint plant in my hydroponic garden. And what topping off does is it tells the plant to stop shooting straight up, and it branches off into a Y. So instead of having one main stem, now you have 2 stems, which is great for herbs and plants where you're trying to get as many leaves as you possibly can, or if you're trying to keep something from growing straight up and getting really tall, and instead you want to expand its growth widthwise. So I know I'm going to be topping this plant off at some time. I just need to know when. And Eric told me that the 6th node is generally the best time to go ahead and top off. So I counted and I'm at the 6th node. Let's do this. She's cozy in her new home. I still have the blue and UVA light on it. I built a completely unnecessary trellis. And now I need to check up with Eric about when I should flip to flowering.
Couldn't use any of the audio from this clip because my garden is so loud with the air pumps. But what I asked him was basically, my plant looks like if it doubled in size, then it would fill out the whole tent. Should I flip? And he says, if my plant looks like it's gonna double in size and it'll fill the whole tent, then I'm already in trouble.
So I set my lights for 12 hours on, 12 hours off. I began the lean towards phosphorus and potassium with my nutrients, and I installed a completely necessary trellis as I began the push for flowering. I also traded in the blue lights for deep red lights.
Okay, the red light? No, God, no. Is that even safe? I feel it burning me. Okay, I'll just talk fast. So red light is important for for flowering because it's a highly photosynthetically active light wave. Carries a lot of radiation that's used and absorbed by chlorophyll for photosynthesis. I can't do this. I'm done.
I woke up today to this. So I've been topping it off for the past couple hours to try to bring it back. I can't top it all off at once or it'll drown and probably die. So I'm just topping it off, trying to get it back up. That was pretty alarming. I had no idea it was so thirsty. This is a completely different plant than it was last week. When is it gonna stop growing? But really though, honestly, I'm gonna have to remove the top of the tent. It's getting too close to the light. It's getting too intense and I don't want it to burn. And look, buds. I think it stopped growing. It's over 7 feet tall now. It's above the ceiling fan. It's through the tent. It's up to the light, mounted directly to the ceiling. What the f***? Wow, guys. Wow. Just wow. Wow, 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 wow. I'm speechless, guys. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever grown. The trichomes are beginning to create on my buds here. I can start to see little sugary crystals. This is absolutely insane. I had no idea it was gonna be so big or have so many buds. This is crazy. So what I have in here now is my dehumidifier. I have a fan that's blowing some air up here. I have a fan that's blowing directly onto the bucket. I also have a fan at the top hitting the buds, and then I have the ceiling fan to make sure we have plenty of air moving through here for multiple reasons. We want to have nice strong buds. We want to have nice strong branches that can support our buds. So the moving air constantly helps with that. It also helps with transpiration, the movement of oxygen and carbon dioxide through our plants. It's also going to help prevent bud rot, and it's going to help prevent any mold that could happen in the middle. You want to have as much airflow as you possibly can. This is just a plant thing. This isn't even a weed thing. So I have tons of fans in all my gardens, and in order to record this even, I had to turn like 50 fans off. It was kind of really annoying, but whatever, guys. Love you.
So I thought I would consult with the armchair experts over at Reddit. So I made a post and I asked them what they thought I might get from this plant dry. And here's what they said. So, well, this guy says he gets 2 pounds, but he didn't answer my question. So that's nice. Looks like it's about to get out of hand. So that's fun. This guy said a pound. There's no way. A pound? Are you serious, dude? A pound? You could easily get a pound out of that plant. If the buds get heavy enough, you might want to think about adding a second trellis, maybe even a third. You should get around a pound dry. I just had a little smaller one drop 14 ounces dry. He put a picture up on that one. I'll put it on the screen, but he attached a picture with that one. A pound? You guys, is that for real?
Call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on. When you need a friend, call me.
Trichomes are a plant's natural defense to ultraviolet light. They grow out of the stems and the leaves to protect the plant from burning from ultraviolet radiation in the higher wavelengths. When it comes to cannabis cultivation, not only do trichomes make your plant super sticky, but they also tell you when it's time to harvest. They start off crystal clear and then they turn more milky white and then they turn an amber brown. So the perfect time to harvest if you're looking for that optimal THC is when they are milky white. So now's a good time to start paying very, very close attention to your cannabis plant. Things are looking pretty good right now, but it does look like some of my larger ones could be ready to harvest. So I'm gonna give it a few more days and I'll check back. This is bud rot. This means I likely have mold or mildew in my buds. So I'm gonna cut and check all the tops. I was gonna harvest them anyway, but let's see if I can even use them. Let's check another top. I gotta harvest it all. The stems were nice and crispy, so I threw all the buds in jars and got ready for the cure and weighed them up. Okay, so everything weighed together before the final curing, I ended up with 15.5 ounces, just 1/2 ounce shy of a pound. Now this is before curing, and I looked online, they said with curing you can expect to lose about 5% of your total mass, which would put me right around 14 ounces. So not quite a pound. I have a feeling if I would have let it go for the entire duration, I would have had a pound, but that bud rot, that mold just kept me from doing that. We'll have to try again next time and see if we can get the 1 pound plant. But 14 ounces, I'm very happy with that. That is an incredible amount of cannabis from one plant. I ended up losing about 2 ounces total to the mold. I separated all the moldy tops and the buds and put them in a different jar. I'm curing those out anyway because I might be able to process them or cut around the mold. I'm not sure. I might get really desperate one day when I run out and just like cut around any parts that have mold on them. I don't know. This probably won't go in the video. So now I wanted to go over some things that I learned with you guys during this grow. Okay, so it was my first grow. There was plenty of errors and a lot of things that I learned. So let me tell you just the main ones here that I can touch on for you. So I needed to either top off my plant more, I needed to do more of a training method like mainlining it, or switch to flower earlier to keep it from growing so tall and outgrowing the tent. Subsequently, that's what ended up leading to my bud rot, because half of the tops were hanging outside of the tent in the humid air. The humidifier just couldn't keep up at that point. So that created a huge problem. And if I would have kept my plant from outgrowing the tent in the first place by either topping it off more, keeping it smaller and more compact, then that wouldn't have happened to me. I also learned, as we saw in the first video, that around week 3 flowering, the plant gets a lot more thirsty. You're gonna need to pay attention to topping it off a lot more around that time. It's gonna start to need like daily maintenance around week 3 flowering. At least it did for me. I've never dealt with a plant that requires such strict humidity for a finished product to not be messed up. It really is much more serious than I thought. I set it to 60% humidity because that's what I could maintain without having an air conditioner in here. Otherwise it was getting too hot and then I would have had other issues like root rot. So I can maintain 60% humidity at about 82, 83 degrees. In hindsight, and for my next grow, I'm gonna get an air conditioner so that I can maintain a lower humidity and also a lower temperature in the room. That's one of the huge issues I ran into, and that led to bud rot also. And lastly, since I didn't have a control, there's no real way for me to tell you if the UVA and the deep red lights had much of an effect on this plant. So I'm gonna do another grow side by side, one with just a standard LED grow light and one with a super custom wavelength LED grow light that's gonna have, you know, UVA and deep red at all the right time during the growth. So we're gonna see if optimizing it in this way has an effect on the total outcome. I really hope you guys did enjoy this cannabis series. I loved making it, and I think I'm gonna be enjoying it for the next year or so. So let's grow together, guys.